My chosen one, listen carefully. This is not a coincidence. This is not just another video. This is your final warning from Archangel Michael. Someone is watching your house. This is not a drill. Something shocking will happen tonight if you stay silent. Right now, as you hear these words, there is a spiritual tension around your home. You may have felt it. A strange heaviness in the air. Sudden restlessness at night. Unusual dreams. Small, unexplainable disturbances. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself it was stress. But deep inside, your spirit knew something was not right. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your property in the spirit realm. Sword drawn. Eyes alert. Not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. And when someone is chosen, they are watched. This message is urgent. There is someone observing your house. Not just physically, but spiritually. Watching patterns. Watching movements. Waiting for silence. Waiting for you to stay quiet. Waiting for you to ignore the signs. But tonight will not unfold the way they expect. Because heaven has already intervened. You see, when Archangel Michael sends a final warning, it is not to create fear. It is to activate awareness. There is a difference between paranoia and prophecy. And what you are hearing right now is prophecy. Look at what has been happening recently. Sudden tension in the home. Random arguments. Electrical issues. Objects misplaced. That feeling like someone is talking about you behind your back. This is not random energy. This is surveillance energy. Someone close. Or someone who have been studying you from a distance. But here is the shocking part. They are not just watching your house, they are watching your favor. They see that doors are opening for you. They sense that something big is about to happen in your life. A breakthrough. A promotion. A shift. And they are uncomfortable. Because your elevation exposes their insecurity. Archangel Michael is revealing this now because silence gives permission. When you stay silent in the spirit, you allow observation to turn into manipulation. Tonight is a spiritual checkpoint. Something shocking will attempt to surface. A truth. A confrontation. An exposure. If you stay silent, it could escalate. But if you stand in awareness, if you pray, if you declare protection, the entire script flips. Michael's presence around your house is not symbolic. It is strategic. He is guarding entrances you cannot see. He is intercepting conversations you are unaware of. He is blocking plans that were whispered in secrecy. And here is what most people do not understand. When someone watches your house, it is because they cannot access your destiny directly. So they try to study your environment instead. They look for weakness. They look for open doors. They look for emotional cracks. But they did not expect divine reinforcement. Right now, there is angelic activity near your windows, near your doors, near your roof. Not in a dramatic way, but to frighten you, but to fortify. You may feel a sudden urge after this message to walk through your house, to check the logs, to pray in each room. Do it. That instinct is not random. It is alignment. Something shocking will attempt to happen tonight, but it will not succeed the way it was planned. Because this is the final warning before the exposure. The one watching believes you are unaware. They believe you are distracted. They believe you will continue your routine without discernment. But now you know. And knowledge shifts timelines. Archangel Michael is not only a warrior, he is a revealer. He exposes hidden watchers. He uncovers silent observers. He shines light on secret intentions. The reason this message feels intense is because the window of action is small. The next few hours matter. Your awareness matters. Your declaration matters. Do not argue. Do not panic. Do not confront blindly. Instead, stand firm. Pray over your house tonight. Anoint your doorway if you feel led. Speak protection out loud. Because silence feeds watchers, but authority silences them. There is also something deeper here. The watching is not only about harm. It is about curiosity. Someone cannot understand how you remain protected despite attacks. They cannot understand how you keep rising despite pressure. They are studying your peace. But peace is not accidental. It is guarded. And tonight, something will try to test that peace. A message. A knock. A sudden revelation. An unexpected truth. Do not be shaken. When it happens, remember this warning. Remember that Michael already stood guard before it unfolded. You are not being targeted because you are weak. You are being monitored because you are marked. Marked for breakthrough. Marked for elevation. Marked for divine acceleration. And when acceleration approaches, resistance intensifies. This is the final alert before a shift. The house you are living in carries more than walls and furniture. It carries destiny. It carries prayers. It carries promises spoken over your life. That is why it is being watched. But hear this clearly. Heaven watches over it more closely than any human ever could. Stand in authority tonight. Light will expose what darkness tried to study. The shocking event. It will not destroy you. It will reveal who was never truly aligned. And when that revelation comes, you will not feel fear. You will feel confirmation. Because Archangel Michael does not send warnings without victory attached to them. Prepare. Pray. Be alert. The next hours are sacred. Beloved warrior of light, what you are about to understand now is even more intense than what has already been revealed. The warning was only the surface. The deeper truth is about timing. Tonight is not random. This specific night carries spiritual weight because a decision has already been made in the unseen realm. Someone watching your house believes you are unaware, but what they do not realize is that their window of influence is closing. Archangel Michael is not only standing guard, he is enforcing a boundary. There are spiritual lines drawn around your property that cannot be crossed without consequence. The tension you have been feeling is not danger approaching. It is danger being blocked. That heaviness in the atmosphere is resistance meeting divine authority. You may have noticed unusual behavior from someone recently. A neighbor acting different. A person driving slower near your home. Someone asking subtle questions about your schedule. These are not coincidences. When someone cannot access you directly, they study your patterns. They watch your routines. They wait for vulnerability. But heaven disrupts patterns before harm can form. The shocking event hinted at earlier is not necessarily loud or dramatic. Sometimes the most powerful exposures happen quietly. A hidden truth may surface. A secret conversation may reach you. The mask may slip. And when it does, do not react emotionally. Observe. Discern. Stay composed. Because composure is power. Archangel Michael is revealing that silence tonight does not mean fear. It means strategic prayer. There is a difference between staying silent in weakness and staying silent in authority. The enemy hopes you will ignore your intuition. But you are being called to activate it. Walk through your house tonight with intention. Speak peace into every room. Not because something has overtaken your home, but because you are reinforcing what already belongs to you. Your house is covered. Your space is guarded. Your roof is shielded. There is also something about light. If you feel led, turn on a light in a room that is usually dark. This is symbolic. Light disrupts watchers. Light sends a message that you are alert. And spiritually, illumination weakens hidden agendas. The one observing you feels pressure. They did not expect resistance. They thought you would remain spiritually asleep. But awareness has shifted everything. The moment you heard this message, the atmosphere around your house adjusted. Angelic presence intensified. Surveillance in the spirit began collapsing. You might feel a strange calm as the night progresses. That calm is not denial. It is protection settling in. Archangel Michael de la Pag. He stands firm. And when he stands near your dwelling, nothing moves without permission. There may also be a test of your voice tonight. An opportunity to speak up or to remain wise and measured. Choose wisdom. Not every confrontation deserves your energy. Some battles are won by silence filled with prayer. If this message resonates with your spirit, if you can feel that this is not random but divinely timed, then engage with this moment. Like this video so that this warning reaches others who are under silent observation. Share it with someone who has been sensing unusual tension around their home. Comment your agreement with protection and authority. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that refuses to stay spiritually unaware. Your interaction is not just support, it spreads awareness. And awareness breaks hidden strategies. There is more unfolding, and what is coming next will connect the watcher to a deeper motive. You will understand why your house, specifically your house, became a focus. The answer is tied to something growing in your life, something expanding, something that threatens someone else's illusion of control. Do not underestimate how powerful your presence is. Your home carries peace that others cannot replicate. Your energy shifts rooms. Your prayers alter atmospheres. And that kind of influence attracts attention. But here is the truth that changes everything. The one watching is more afraid of exposure than you are of observation. They are anxious. They feel the shift. They sense that something is about to uncover them. Tonight is not about fear. It is about revelation. Archangel Michael is not only guarding your house, he is orchestrating a reveal. What was hidden will feel unstable. What was secret will struggle to stay concealed. And you will witness signs that confirm this message. Pay attention to small details, sudden changes in behavior, unexpected silence from someone who usually talks too much, or the opposite, nervous over-explanation. These are cracks forming. Stay steady. This is where spiritual maturity matters. Do not boast. Do not accuse prematurely. Let truth surface naturally. When heaven exposes something, it does so completely. What happens tonight is only the beginning of clarity, and clarity is protection. Hold on, because what is about to be revealed next will connect everything in a way you did not expect. Faithful soul, the atmosphere around your house is shifting even as you listen to this. What was once hidden is beginning to tremble. The watcher thought time was on their side. They believed silence would protect their strategy. But they did not anticipate divine interruption. And now, Archangel Michael is stepping forward not only as a guardian, but as a revealer. There is a reason this is called a final warning. Final warnings come when heaven has already gathered evidence. Nothing escapes divine sight. Every whisper spoken with ill intention. Every plan drafted in secrecy. Every moment someone stood at a distance studying your life. It has all been seen, And when Archangel Michael moves, it is never without precision. The house you are living in carries more spiritual weight than you realize. It is not just a physical structure. It is a covenant space. Prayers have been spoken inside those walls. Tears have fallen on those floors. Hopes have been declared under that roof. That kind of spiritual history creates light. And light attracts two kinds of attention: divine protection and human curiosity. The one watching sense that something is about to elevate in your life. Perhaps an opportunity. Perhaps restoration. Perhaps a breakthrough that changes your entire direction. They felt it before you even recognized it. And instead of celebrating you, they began observing you. But here is the twist they did not see coming. Observation has triggered their own exposure. Archangel Michael is now positioning circumstances in such a way that truth will surface naturally. You will not need to force it. You will not need to chase it. It will unfold. There may be a conversation that reveals too much, a mistake that exposes motive, a slip in behavior that confirms your intuition. When it happens, you will feel a calm confirmation instead of shock. That is how you know heaven orchestrated it. Tonight carries a spiritual checkpoint. If you remain grounded, if you stay prayerful, if you refuse to react impulsively, you will witness the beginning of a separation. Not necessarily dramatic, not explosive, but clear. Some people cannot walk with you into your next season, and instead of admitting it, they tried to study you from the shadows. But shadows dissolve under light. Archangel Michael's presence around your house is intensifying because your threshold is sacred. What enters your home matters. What hovers around your home matters. And what attempts to watch your home without pure intention cannot remain hidden for long. You may notice increased sensitivity tonight. Sounds may feel amplified. Your intuition may feel sharper. Trust it. This is not anxiety. This is discernment being heightened. There is also a spiritual exchange happening. As the watcher becomes uneasy, you become empowered. Their fear grows as your clarity strengthens. They are realizing that they underestimated your spiritual covering. The shocking element of this night may not be an event you see with your eyes, but a realization that drops into your spirit. A sudden understanding of who had been misaligned. A clear picture of motives. And when that realization comes, do not harden your heart. Simply accept what is shown. Because exposure is not revenge. It is protection. Archangel Michael does not reveal to embarrass. He reveals to redirect. He reveals to shield. He reveals to prepare you for the next level. And there is something else you must understand. The watching was never about your weakness. It was about your assignment. There is something on your life that carries influence. You shift environments without trying. You inspire without realizing it. And that kind of spiritual authority makes insecure hearts uncomfortable. But insecurity cannot compete with divine backing. Tonight, speak peace over your house again. Speak protection over your doors and windows. Not in fear but in confidence. Declare that no hidden agenda can survive near your dwelling. Declare that truth rises and deception falls. As you do this, the atmosphere will respond. If this message is speaking directly to your spirit, if you feel that this is confirmation and not coincidence, then participate in this prophetic act. Type "I stand guarded" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 314 is now activated over your home and over your peace. And as this revelation settles in your heart, understand something deeper. When you sow into light, you strengthen light. When you fuel the spread of truth, you become part of someone else's protection. If this warning has awakened you, imagine how many others are living under silent observation without awareness. Your support through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description is not just a financial gesture. It is a spiritual seed. Scripture declares that as you sow, so shall you reap. And tonight that promise is alive and personal over you. When you choose to give, you are saying, I refuse to let darkness operate unnoticed. That decision echoes in heaven. It becomes oil that keeps this mission burning. It becomes light that reaches another house before midnight. Do not treat this as a small action. Treat it as obedience. The same God who guards your home multiplies what you release for His purpose. As you give, protection circles back to you. As you stand with this mission, heaven stands with your household. Activate your support now. Seal this moment with action. The separation has begun. The exposure is unfolding, and your house remains guarded. Anointed one, something is happening beneath the surface that you cannot yet see, but you can feel it. The air around your house is no longer heavy in the same way. It is charged. There is movement in the unseen. The watcher who once felt confident now feels pressure, and that pressure is not coming from you. It is coming from the presence of Archangel Michael enforcing divine boundaries. You may wake up tomorrow sensing that something has shifted, not dramatically but noticeably. A strange silence from someone who was previously hovering. A pause in behavior that once felt intrusive. This is not coincidence. This is disruption. When heaven begins to expose, it also begins to restrict. The one watching your house underestimated your covering. They thought they were studying you quietly. They thought their attention was harmless, unnoticed, untraceable. But spiritual law does not operate on human assumptions. When intention is impure, it creates spiritual noise, and that noise attracts angelic investigation. Archangel Michael is not only a defender in battle, he is an enforcer of divine order. When someone attempts to interfere with a destiny-marked household, he does not respond emotionally. He responds strategically. Every unseen movement around your property has been recorded in the spirit. Every whisper has been measured. And now, something is about to be reversed. There is a boomerang effect in motion. The very attention they directed toward you is returning to them as exposure. The scrutiny they placed on your home is now being placed on their own motives. They feel uneasy because they sense they are being seen. This is why you must remain calm. Do not confront prematurely. Do not send indirect messages. Do not post emotional reactions. Silence right now is not weakness. It is positioning. When you remain grounded, you allow heaven to complete its work without interference. There may be a subtle sign that confirms everything. A sudden apology that feels out of place. A confession disguised as casual conversation. A nervous energy when your name is mentioned. Watch closely but do not react quickly. The shocking event that was warned about is not necessarily destruction. It is disruption. Something planned will not unfold the way it was intended. A plan may fall apart. A conversation may be canceled. A strategy may collapse before execution. And when that happens, you will realize this message was not dramatic, it was protective. Archangel Michael's sword is symbolic of clarity. It cuts through confusion. It divides truth from deception. And right now, confusion is being sliced away from your perception. Things that once felt uncertain are becoming obvious. You are also entering a season where your house becomes a place of greater peace. The tension that lingered will start dissolving. The subtle pressure that felt unexplained will lift. Not because nothing was happening, but because what was happening have been intercepted. There is something powerful about a guarded home. When your dwelling is spiritually secured, your mind rests differently. Your sleep deepens. Your thoughts clear. That is what is being restored. However, understand this. The watcher may attempt one last subtle move. Not aggressive, not dramatic, but probing. A test. A small attempt to gauge whether you are truly aware. Do not respond with fear. Respond with composure. Your calm will intimidate more than confrontation ever could. You may even sense a temptation to explain yourself to someone who hath been observing you. Resist that urge. You do not owe explanations to silent critics. Your life does not require justification. Archangel Michael stands not only outside your house, but symbolically at your threshold. Nothing crosses without spiritual review. Nothing lingers without divine permission. There is also a deeper layer unfolding. The watching was connected to envy, but envy rooted in comparison. Someone measured their life against yours and felt lacking. Instead of healing that insecurity, they projected it toward you. But projection collapses under exposure. The next phase of this situation will not be loud. It will be revealing. You will start connecting past behaviors to present clarity. Moments that once confused you will suddenly make sense. That realization may feel shocking, but it will also feel liberating. Because clarity frees you from self-doubt. The house you are living in will no longer feel like a monitored space. It will feel like a fortress. Not isolated, but fortified. And here is something important. Do not let this experience harden your heart toward everyone. Not everyone who watches you carries ill intent. Some observe because they admire. Some observe because they learn. Discernment will help you distinguish between curiosity and corruption. Archangel Michael is sharpening your discernment through this experience. You will not enter the next season naive. You will enter aware. The night that was meant to shock you will instead strengthen you. The one who thought they were ahead will realize they were behind. The one who thought you were unaware will realize you were protected. And soon, you will see evidence of this shift in a way that removes all doubt. Remain steady. Remain prayerful. Remain observant. Because what unfolds next will reveal not only who was watching, but why. Brave heart. The deeper truth is now rising to the surface. What began as a warning about someone watching your house is unfolding into a revelation about motive. Watching is never random. Observation carries intention, and intention reveals desire. The question is no longer just who was watching, but why they felt compelled to watch in the first place. Archangel Michael is bringing clarity to the root. This was not simple curiosity. It was comparison mixed with access denied. Someone realized they could not control your direction, so they attempted to monitor your environment. When influence is lost, insecure hearts resort to observation. But something shifted the moment you became aware. The power of awareness is underestimated. The instant you recognized that something felt off, the spiritual dynamic changed. You were no longer passive. You were aligned. And alignment activates protection. The one watching your house expected you to remain distracted. They expected you to dismiss subtle signs. They expected you to continue living unaware of the spiritual tension surrounding your property. But the warning disrupted their expectation. Now they are unsettled. You may sense that the energy around a specific person feels different. Perhaps they are quieter. Perhaps they are overly friendly. Perhaps they avoid eye contact. These are not random social fluctuations. These are internal conflicts surfacing externally. When someone realizes their hidden position is no longer hidden, behavior shifts. Archangel Michael is not exposing this to create paranoia. He is refining your discernment. There is a difference between suspicion and spiritual clarity. Suspicion creates anxiety. Clarity creates peace. And you are being given peace through revelation. There is also something you must understand about your house. It is not only being protected physically, it is being shielded spiritually because it represents stability. Stability is threatening to unstable people. Peace is unsettling to those who lack it. Someone has been studying your calm, watching how you respond under pressure, observing how you handle tension. They wanted to find inconsistency. They wanted to locate weakness. But instead, they found resilience. That resilience intimidated them. The shocking event that was warned about is transforming. It is no longer about something happening to you. It is about something collapsing around them. A plan that seemed solid is cracking. A narrative they constructed is unraveling. And they are realizing that the more they watch, the more they expose themselves. Archangel Michael stands not just as a warrior, but as a mirror. His presence reflects truth. When light surrounds your house, it does not only guard, it reveals. And revelation can feel uncomfortable for those hiding motives. You might notice a sudden shift in conversation in the coming days. Topics may change abruptly when you enter a room. Or you may overhear something that connects pieces you did not even know were related. When that happens, do not react impulsively. Let the information settle. Information is power when handled with maturity. There is also an internal shift happening within you. You are becoming less reactive, more observant, more composed. This is growth. The very situation meant to destabilize you is strengthening your spiritual posture. Archangel Michael is preparing you for a higher level of responsibility. With greater favor comes greater attention. Not all attention is malicious, but some of it requires spiritual strength to navigate. This experience is sharpening you without hardening you. And here is something profound. The one who was watching may soon attempt to distance themselves subtly. Not dramatically, just enough to create space. This is not because they have won. It is because they feel exposed. Exposure creates discomfort. If there is a confrontation, it will not be explosive. It will be revealing. They may attempt to justify their behavior. They may minimize their actions. They may claim coincidence. Listen calmly. Discern quietly. Respond wisely. Your power in this moment is restraint. The house that was being observed is now becoming a testimony of protection, a testimony of awareness, a testimony that when Archangel Michael stands guard, hidden agendas lose strength. You may even feel gratitude emerging from this situation. Not gratitude for being watched, but gratitude for being covered. Gratitude that nothing escalated beyond observation. Gratitude that warning came before harm. That gratitude will shift your atmosphere completely. As this chapter unfolds, remember that not every watcher remains an enemy. Some watchers transform into witnesses. When they see that you operate in peace rather than panic, it forces self-reflection. But regardless of their transformation, your focus must remain steady. Your house is guarded. Your environment is secured. Your discernment is sharpened. And the story is not ending in fear. It is transitioning into elevation. Because whenever hidden observation fails, public favor rises. Something is aligning behind the scenes that will compensate for every moment of silent scrutiny. A door is preparing to open. A shift is preparing to manifest. And the very tension you felt will soon be replaced with unmistakable confirmation that you were protected all along. Remain centered. The revelation is not finished yet. Steadfast soul, what is unfolding now is the turning point. The season of being quietly watched is coming to a close, and the season of visible favor is approaching. You may not see it fully yet, but something has already shifted in the spiritual atmosphere around your house. The tension that once felt threatening is now losing its grip. The one who observed you from a distance is beginning to retreat internally, even if you have not seen it externally. Archangel Michael has not moved from his position. In fact, his presence has grown stronger because transition moments require reinforcement. When exposure happens, there is often a final attempt to regain control, not through direct attack, but through subtle emotional triggers. You might feel a sudden urge to confront, to question, to press for answers. That urge is understandable, but it must be mastered. This is not the time to act out of impulse. It is the time to act out of authority. Authority is calm. Authority does not chase. Authority does not explain itself to those who operate in secrecy. The one who was watching your house hoped to see you destabilized. They hoped to catch a moment where your peace cracked. But what they are witnessing instead is stability under pressure. And that stability is intimidating. You may begin to notice that conversations around you are changing tone. Someone who once seemed overly curious about your schedule may no longer ask questions. Someone who lingered around your property may suddenly become distant. These are signs of retreat. Not because they have been defeated by you personally, but because the spiritual environment has become too strong for hidden agendas to survive. Archangel Michael enforces boundaries that humans cannot see. When those boundaries are activated, discomfort grows in anyone attempting to cross them without permission. The watcher feels that discomfort now. They feel exposed even if you have said nothing directly. There is also an internal elevation happening within you. Your awareness has matured. You are no longer naive to subtle energy shifts. You are no longer dismissing your intuition. This is growth, and it is powerful. The house that once felt under quiet observation is becoming a fortress of clarity. Sleep may begin to feel deeper. The air may feel lighter. Even your thoughts may feel more organized. These are signs that pressure is lifting. However, understand this clearly. Whenever exposure approaches completion, there can be a final test. A last attempt to provoke reaction. A message that feels slightly manipulative. A comment designed to test your emotional response. When it comes, recognize it for what it is. Do not feed it with frustration. Respond, if necessary, with brevity and composure. Silence, when used strategically, is strength. Archangel Michael is teaching you something profound through this situation. Not every battle is fought with loud declarations. Some victories are secured through unwavering calm. The more grounded you remain, the clearer the contrast becomes between your peace and their instability. And here is where things begin to shift dramatically in your favor. The very energy that was directed toward watching you is about to redirect into witnessing your elevation. Something is aligning in your life that will make quiet observers uncomfortable because it confirms that you were protected all along. You may receive unexpected good news soon. An opportunity. A financial improvement. A relational restoration. When it comes, understand that it is not random. It is compensation for pressure endured silently. It is heaven affirming that what tried to monitor you could not stop you. If this message is strengthening your spirit and confirming what you have sensed, engage with it. Like this video so that others who are silently enduring similar tension can find clarity. Share it with someone who has felt watched or unsettled in their own space. Comment your agreement with protection and favor. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that stands spiritually alert and empowered. Your interaction amplifies this message and helps it reach homes that need reinforcement right now. There is more unfolding beneath the surface. The motive behind the watching will soon become undeniable, not through accusation, but through behavior that exposes itself naturally. And when it does, you will not feel anger. You will feel understanding. Archangel Michael's presence around your house has not only guarded you, it has upgraded you. You are more discerning now, more composed, more spiritually aware. The Watcher believed they were studying you. In reality, they were stepping into a lesson they did not expect. A lesson about boundaries. A lesson about divine covering. A lesson about the consequences of hidden intention. You are stepping into a clearer space, a lighter atmosphere, a stronger version of yourself. And what is about to unfold next will reveal the final layer of why your house was chosen for observation in the first place. Stay steady. The revelation is almost complete. Chosen vessel, the final layer is beginning to unfold, and it carries a truth that will change the way you see this entire situation. The watching was never just about your house. It was about access. Your house represented proximity. Proximity to your life, your plans, your next move. Someone believed that if they could study your environment, they could predict your future. But destiny cannot be predicted by observers. It is protected by divine order. Archangel Michael has been guarding more than walls and windows. He has been guarding timing. There are moments in your life that must unfold at precise intervals. There are blessings that cannot arrive prematurely. There are exposures that cannot happen too soon. What you have experienced recently was a divine delay, not a threat. A delay designed to let hidden motives surface before elevation begins. You may start connecting dots now. Certain conversations from weeks ago. Certain subtle questions. Certain unusual behaviors that once felt small but now feel significant. This is clarity settling in. It is not meant to disturb you. It is meant to finalize your understanding. The one watching your house was trying to stay informed about your progress. Not to celebrate it, but to measure it. There is a difference between support and surveillance. Support empowers. Surveillance compares. And comparison was at the root of this. Someone looked at your stability and measured it against their instability. They saw your peace and compared it to their internal chaos. Instead of healing themselves, they tried to analyze you. Instead of seeking growth, they sought insight into your life. But here is the truth that shifts everything. Insight without purity leads to exposure. Archangel Michael does not tolerate prolonged hidden observation around a destiny-marked household. There comes a point when divine patience ends and divine revelation begins. You are stepping into that revelation now. There will be a moment soon when everything feels obvious. Not dramatic, not explosive, just undeniable. You will see clearly who was aligned and who was studying from the shadows. And when that moment comes, your reaction will determine the next chapter. Use dignity. You do not need to shame. You do not need to retaliate. You do not need to announce what you know. Quiet understanding is more powerful than public accusation. When you carry yourself with grace, it sends a stronger message than confrontation ever could. The house that was once under subtle observation is now becoming a symbol of your growth. Growth attracts attention, but sustained growth attracts respect. The one who watched may even begin to feel conviction. They may recognize internally that their approach was misaligned. Whether they admit it or not is irrelevant. What matters is that the spiritual dynamic has shifted. Archangel Michael has repositioned you. There is also something deeper happening within your own heart. You are learning to guard your space differently, not with fear, but with wisdom. You are becoming more selective about who has access to your schedule, your plans, your vulnerabilities. This is maturity, not paranoia. A shocking event that was warned about is transforming into a silent turning point. The plan that may have been forming against you has dissolved before it ever reached execution. What could have escalated has been neutralized. You may never know the full extent of what was prevented, and that is often how protection works. It shields without spectacle. It intervenes without announcement. Archangel Michael's assignment in this situation is nearing completion, but his covering remains. The intense alert phase is calming. The atmosphere is stabilizing. You may feel a renewed sense of ownership over your space, a deeper confidence when you walk through your home. That is restoration settling in. There is also a blessing attached to this experience. Your discernment has been sharpened. Your spiritual awareness has increased. You are entering your next season less naive and more empowered. And something else is coming. The same house that felt watched is about to become a place of unexpected celebration. A moment of joy. A piece of good news. A confirmation that you are moving forward. When that happens, remember this chapter. Remember that what tried to monitor you could not stop you. What tried to study you could not control you. You were guided. You were warned. You were elevated. And the final exposure is about to close this cycle completely. The truth will settle naturally. The distance will establish itself organically. The tension will dissolve without drama. Stay steady a little longer, because what is coming next will not just reveal motive. It will reveal purpose. Radiant soul, you have reached the moment where everything begins to make divine sense. The tension, the awareness, the warning, the subtle shifts in behavior, all of it was leading to this turning point. The watching was never meant to destroy you. It was permitted to reveal who could not go where you are going. And now, Archangel Michael is sealing this chapter with authority. There is a spiritual law unfolding around your house. What tries to linger without pure intention cannot remain when light intensifies. And light has intensified around you. The heaviness that once felt confusing is dissolving into clarity. The atmosphere that once felt monitored is transforming into momentum. You may notice something powerful in the coming days. The one who was watching will begin to redirect their focus, not because they suddenly changed, but because they can no longer withstand the exposure. When someone realizes that their silent observation has been spiritually uncovered, discomfort grows, and discomfort leads to distance. Do not chase the distance. Let it happen. Archangel Michael has drawn a line that does not need explanation. The boundary speaks for itself. There is a quiet dignity in allowing separation to occur naturally. Not every departure requires drama. Some exits are simply the result of truth becoming visible. The shocking event that was warned about has now revealed itself in a different form. It was not destruction. It was disclosure. Disclosure of character. Disclosure of motive. Disclosure of alignment. You were being shown who was studying you instead of standing with you. And now that you know, your energy shifts. Your house will begin to feel lighter than it has in weeks. Conversations inside it will feel calmer. Even your thoughts may carry less tension. That is because hidden observation creates subtle pressure. And that pressure is lifting. Archangel Michael's presence has not only guarded your dwelling, but purified its atmosphere. The spiritual surveillance that once hovered has been scattered. The sword of clarity has cut through every hidden thread. But there is something even deeper happening now. Your house is becoming a place of increased favor. When something tries to monitor you and fails, heaven often responds by elevating you publicly. What was meant to intimidate becomes a testimony. What was meant to unsettle becomes confirmation. You may receive recognition soon. Validation. An open door. Something that affirms your direction. And when it happens, it will contrast sharply with the quiet insecurity that once surrounded you. The watcher will witness your elevation from a distance, not because you pushed them away aggressively, but because divine order repositioned everyone according to alignment. There is also healing taking place within you. At first, realizing someone was watching created discomfort, but now, it has created empowerment. You are no longer unaware. You are no longer dismissing your intuition. You are operating from clarity. But clarity is a gift. Archangel Michael does not waste warnings. Every alert carries purpose. Every revelation carries upgrade. You have been upgraded spiritually through this experience. Your discernment is sharper. Your boundaries are stronger. Your peace is more intentional. And now comes the sealing of this season. If this message has confirmed what your spirit already sensed, if you feel that your house has been guarded and your awareness awakened, then participate in this prophetic declaration. Type "My house is sealed" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 808 is now activated over your dwelling and over your next season. As this chapter closes, understand something sacred. When light exposes hidden watchers, it also expands its reach. If this message protected your home, imagine how many homes are still under silent pressure without clarity. When you choose to support this mission through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a platform. You are fueling protection for other households. The word declares that when you sow into good ground, your harvest is multiplied, and this is good ground. Your giving becomes oil that keeps the lamp burning in dark places. It becomes a river that flows into homes before tension escalates. This is your moment to act in alignment with what you have received. Do not delay obedience when your spirit feels stirred. As you give, may your own house overflow with provision, peace, and supernatural covering. As you stand with this mission, heaven stands with your family. Release your seed now and seal your participation in spreading light. The watcher has been exposed. The atmosphere hath been cleansed. And your house is stepping into a new level of divine security. Only one final layer remains to be revealed. Faith-filled one, now that the atmosphere has been cleansed and the watcher has been spiritually exposed, there is a deeper revelation rising. This revelation is not about them anymore. It is about you. It is about why your house, your life, your space carried enough significance to attract attention in the first place. You must understand something clearly. Not every house is watched. Not every life is studied. Observation follows value, and your life carries value in the unseen realm. Archangel Michael did not stand guard around your dwelling because of a minor inconvenience. He stood because your next season holds weight. There is movement approaching your life that requires spiritual reinforcement. The watching was a reaction to your upcoming expansion. Expansion makes insecure hearts uncomfortable. There is something preparing to unfold for you that will increase your visibility. It may not be fame in the worldly sense, but it will be influence. Your voice will carry more authority. Your presence will hold more impact. Your decisions will shape more than just your own environment. And before influence increases, resistance often tests the perimeter, that with the purpose of the surveillance. But now that the perimeter hath been secured, something else is happening. Your confidence is returning at a higher level. The subtle second-guessing you once felt is dissolving. You are no longer questioning whether your intuition was valid. You know it was. This knowing changes how you walk through your house. It changes how you sit in your living room. It changes how you step outside your front door. You move with quiet assurance now. Archangel Michael's role is shifting from active defense to sustained oversight. The urgent tension phase has ended. What remains is a stable covering. However, there is one more truth you must embrace. The Watcher did not only observe your house, they observed your discipline, your consistency, your resilience. They were looking for cracks and found structure instead. Structure intimidates chaos. You may notice in the coming days that someone attempts to re-enter your life in a subtle way. A casual message, a light conversation, an attempt to normalize interaction again. This is not necessarily malicious. It may be curiosity mixed with regret. Discern carefully. Just because exposure has occurred does not mean access should be restored. Boundaries are not punishments. They are protection. Your house represents your inner world. Who you allow near it reflects who you allow near your heart. This experience has taught you that access must be earned through alignment, not assumed through familiarity. There is also a blessing attached to restraint. When you resist the urge to confront unnecessarily, you create space for divine justice to operate fully. You do not need to prove that you were right. The shift in behavior already proved it. The shocking night that was warned about has now transformed into a quiet triumph. Nothing exploded. Nothing collapsed dramatically. Instead, what could have become chaos dissolved under awareness. This is how high-level protection works. You were alerted before escalation. You were covered before confrontation. You were strengthened before separation. And now you stand in a calmer space than before. But the story is not finished yet. There is a reward for passing through this experience with maturity. You will soon encounter an opportunity that feels aligned and peaceful at the same time. It will not carry the tension that the watching season carried. You will feel clean, clear, and firm. When that opportunity arrives, you will recognize it immediately because it will not require secrecy or observation. It will operate in openness. Archangel Michael's assignment around your house was not only about defense, it was about preparing you for alignment. Alignment with new connections. Alignment with greater responsibility. Alignment with favor that does not need to hide. You are stepping into a season where your environment reflects your growth. The house that was once under quiet study is becoming a symbol of your spiritual authority. And here is something powerful. The one who watched may eventually realize that their observation taught them more about themselves than about you. Sometimes people study others only to discover their own insecurity. Whether they grow from it is their journey. Your journey is forward. Your peace is deeper now. Your discernment is sharper. Your space is lighter. And what is about to unfold next will not just confirm your protection. It will confirm your promotion. Stay steady. The final declaration is approaching. Victorious Spirit, you are now standing at the edge of confirmation. Everything that has unfolded around your house was preparation for this moment. The warning was real. The watching was real. The tension was real. But greater than all of it was the protection. And now, promotion is beginning to show itself. There is a noticeable difference in your atmosphere. You may not be able to explain it fully, but you can feel it. The air feels clear. Your thoughts feel more focused. The subtle sense of being monitored has dissolved. This is not imagination. It is evidence of spiritual resolution. Archangel Michael's assignment around your dwelling has shifted into a posture of victory. The urgent guard stance has become a royal watch. You are no longer in a defensive position. You are in an elevated one. An elevation changes dynamics. The one who once watched your house from a distance now sees something they did not expect. They see stability that cannot be shaken. They see favor that continues to rise. They see peace that was not broken. And that realization carries weight. You may notice that their behavior has normalized in a way that feels almost too neutral. That neutrality is not coincidence. It is recalibration. When someone realizes they misjudge your strength, they retreat quietly. But this is not about them anymore. This is about what is opening for you. The shocking night that was warned about has turned into a spiritual pivot point. What could have escalated into disruption instead redirected into growth. And now you are positioned differently. There is an opportunity forming around you. It may relate to work, relationships, finances, or a personal calling. It will require confidence. It will require clarity. And because you endured this season with composure, you are ready for it. Archangel Michael does not guard without purpose. Protection always precedes expansion. The enemy tried to study your perimeter because something valuable was approaching your life. But what they could not stop, they now must watch from afar. This next step will feel different from anything before. It will not carry hidden tension. It will not require second guessing. It will align naturally. That is how you know it is divinely timed. However, as you step forward, remain wise. Do not overshare your plans prematurely. Not out of fear, but out of maturity. Growth thrives in quiet confidence before public celebration. There is also a strengthening happening within your household. Conversations may feel deeper. Peace may linger longer. Even your sleep may feel more restorative. It is restoration settling in fully. If this message has carried you through this season, and you feel the shift in your spirit, engage with it boldly. Like this video so that others who are walking through silent tension can recognize their own protection. Share it with someone who has felt watched or unsettled in their environment. Comment your agreement with elevation and clarity. Subscribe to this channel and stand with a community that refuses to live unaware. Your engagement helps spread this protective awareness to homes that need it right now. And as you continue listening, what comes next will tie everything together in a way you will not expect. The lesson of this entire chapter is powerful. Observation cannot cancel destiny. Surveillance cannot override divine assignment. Hidden agendas cannot survive sustained light. You were not attacked. You were tested. You were not targeted for harm. You were marked for growth. Archangel Michael's presence around your house was not a reaction to weakness. It was reinforcement for strength. And now, you carry yourself differently. You walk through your front door with authority. You sit in your home with assurance. You step outside knowing that what tried to monitor you could not move you. There is a final declaration approaching that will seal this entire season. It will not be about fear. It will be about favor. It will confirm that what was meant to unsettle you instead positioned you. You have passed through the warning. You have endured the watching. You have witnessed the exposure. Now you are stepping into the reward. Remain grounded for just a little longer. The final seal is about to be released. Steady, guardian. You are now entering the final stretch of this revelation, and what is becoming clear is greater than the warning that first reached you. The situation was never meant to end in fear. It was designed to awaken authority within you. The one who watched your house believed they were observing your external life, but what they unintentionally witnessed was your spiritual covering in action. There is a difference between being protected and knowing you are protected. Before this season, you were covered, but you may not have fully understood the depth of that covering. Now you do. Now when you walk through your home, you feel ownership in a new way. You feel spiritual confidence where there was once subtle tension. Archangel Michael did not intervene casually. He intervened because your next season carries responsibility. Responsibility requires awareness, and awareness was born through this warning. You may reflect on how you felt when this message first began. Perhaps there was unease, perhaps curiosity, perhaps even doubt. But now, after walking through each layer of revelation, there is clarity. The fear has dissolved. The confusion has been replaced with understanding. The watcher has faded into the background of your story. What remains in the foreground is your growth. There is a profound truth here that you must carry forward. Not every challenge arrives to destroy. Some arrive to strengthen perception. Some arrive to sharpen discernment. And some arrive to confirm divine covering. This was confirmation. The house you are living in is not random. The timing of your life is not accidental. The protection that surrounded you was not exaggerated. It was precise. And precision is a sign of divine orchestration. You may soon experience a moment of unexpected peace that feels almost surreal. A day where everything feels aligned. A conversation that affirms your direction. A breakthrough that seems effortless. When that moment comes, recognize it as the fruit of endurance. You endured awareness without panic. You endured exposure without retaliation. You endured tension without collapse. That endurance positioned you. Archangel Michael's presence has transitioned from active defense to symbolic authority over your territory. Your territory is not just physical land. It is your influence, your energy, your calling. The one who watched has learned something silently. They learned that proximity does not equal access. They learned that observation does not grant control. And perhaps most importantly, they learned that your life operates under a covering they cannot manipulate. You may never hear them admit it, but you will see it in their distance, in their restraint, in their recalibrated behavior. As this chapter closes, there is one final adjustment within you. You are becoming more intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. Not closed off, not hardened, but wise. Wisdom does not isolate, it filters. Your house is now a symbol of discernment. What enters it must carry alignment. What lingers around it must carry respect. And here is something powerful. The same house that felt watched is now spiritually honored. It withstood pressure. It stood under scrutiny. And it remained peaceful. That peace is your inheritance. The shocking event that was warned about has transformed into a quiet testimony. Nothing dramatic needed to happen because awareness alone shifted the outcome. That is the beauty of divine warning. It prevents what never needed to manifest. Archangel Michael stands not in alarm now, but in affirmation. Affirmation that you responded correctly. Affirmation that your spirit was alert. Affirmation that your house remains under authority. There is only one final seal left to be spoken over this entire season. It will not introduce new tension. It will declare completion. Before that seal is released, take a moment internally to acknowledge how far you have come in this process. You are not the same as you were when this warning first reached you. You are steadier, clearer, stronger. And what is about to be declared will confirm that this entire journey was not about fear of someone watching your house. It was about realizing who truly watches over you. Beloved of heaven, This is the final seal over everything that has unfolded. The warning was real. The watching was real. Attention was real. But greater than all of it was the revelation of who truly stands guard over your life. You began this journey hearing that someone was watching your house. It felt urgent. It felt intense. It felt like something shocking could happen if you stayed silent. And in a way, something shocking did happen. Not destruction, not chaos, but awakening. You awakened to your authority. You awakened to your discernment. You awakened to the reality that Archangel Michael was not distant. He was positioned. The one who watched your house believed silence would give them advantage. But your silence became strategic prayer. Your awareness became protection. Your composure became intimidation. And what could have escalated into disruption dissolved into exposure. Now look at where you stand. Your house is peaceful. Your spirit is steady. Your mind is clear. The atmosphere that once felt tense now feels fortified. The subtle pressure that once lingered has lifted completely. This is not imagination. This is confirmation. Archangel Michael's sword was never raised in panic. It was raised in precision. He guarded your threshold. He intercepted unseen intent. He reinforced boundaries you did not even know were being tested. And here is the final truth. You were never vulnerable. You were monitored because you were marked for elevation. Observation follows value. Resistance follows growth. But protection follows calling. The shocking event that was warned about was not an external explosion. It was an internal realization. You realized who was aligned and who was not. You realized how strong your covering truly is. You realized that your house is not just a building, it is sacred territory. From this day forward, you will walk differently inside your own home. You will pray differently. You will speak differently. You will guard access differently. Not because you are afraid, but because you are aware. And awareness is power. The one who once watched now watches from a distance, unable to interfere. The spiritual boundary has been sealed. The season of subtle surveillance has ended. What remains is favor. There is acceleration coming. There is elevation coming. There is visible confirmation coming. And when it arrives, you will remember this entire journey and understand that the warning was not about fear. It was about preparation. Archangel Michael does not send final warnings without final victories. Your victory is sealed. Your house is guarded. Your season is shifting. Now, participate in this final prophetic act. Type "My house is covered" in the comments if you receive this completion. Blessing code 1224 is now activated over your home, your family, and your next chapter. As this revelation closes, hear this clearly. The same light that guarded your house must continue reaching other homes before their midnight hour. When you sow into this mission through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a channel. You are strengthening a spiritual watchtower. The Lord says that when you give, it shall be given back to you, pressed down and overflowing, and this promise is alive over you now. Your seed becomes oil that keeps this flame burning in dark places. It becomes a shield for another household that does not yet know it is being watched. This is your moment to respond prophetically. Do not hesitate when your spirit feels stirred. As you give, may protection multiply around your dwelling. As you stand with this work, may heaven stand openly with you. Activate your support now and seal your obedience. This chapter is complete, and your house remains under divine guard.